Acting.
All right, ladies. Glad that we could come on, talk about the F1 Las Vegas Grand Prix. It's early morning and we have brunch and lunch plans, so it's going to be a little bit shorter for y'all today.
Early for them, not for me.
Okay. But in celebration for this glorious morning, I did do a fun little cold open. And by fun little cold open, I mean Max Verstappen fucking won the championship, baby.
Oh, shut up.
Are you serious? I did not agree to this. I did not.
Are you serious?
This girl went rogue.
This is a personal offset decision.
This was not a group decision or a podcast decision.
That's all I have to say.
Oh,
it's glorious.
My God.
That's all I have for our cold open. So,
I also want to apologize last week, y'all. Some of y'all who were listening might have heard me in the first 5 minutes and then have been wondering, where did she go? Yeah, I lost internet, But I'm back with a better plan today.
Third world problems.
You should hear me throughout the entire podcast.
Why is that? Because there's a generator.
Hey, generator.
You gotta love Sierra Leone.
I'm not doing this at 1:00 in the morning my time.
Mm-hmm. We've adjusted our filming schedule, so things should be slightly better. All right, but let's get into some fasciones. I can go first because I have mine pulled up. So I'm going to start with my what not to wear because I just think that we need to rethink things. And it's for both. George, I'll give a pass because it was after the race that he did it. But before the race, I understand. It is cold. I get it. It is a little bit cold at this track. Now, arguably, I would say, it's like 45 degrees, 50 degrees. Being a puffer at 50 degrees, I think is crazy. Yes. George and Toto are both wearing a Tommy Hilfiger white puffer jacket.
It's the fact that it's a collab. And all of y'all... Oh, wait, no, Pierre Gasly wore it as well.
Pierre Gasly also wore... did Pierre wear the white puffer?
I don't know if it...
Look.
Pierre did wear... no, that's a different white puffer.
That's a different white puffer? Okay.
Yeah, that's an asymmetrical cross puffer. But, because
Pierre's
Pierre's looks a little bit better by, a little bit. But...
Yeah, I actually like Pierre's.
I just don't think that... I get it. They're European. Maybe they're not used to this stuff. I don't think that it was cold enough for a big puffer.
It gets cold in England and in France.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like they should be more used to this level of cold.
Well, also, no. I take... People, they don't, they get cold, they get warm, but they don't get, extreme cold or extremely hot. So I just think this was just sort of, an exaggeration. Also, too, I don't think, in the UK they have, heaters. I think heaters are air conditioning that they don't have.
I think it's AC.
It's one of the two
I
that
think
they
it's
don't.
AC.
Oh, okay, never mind.
They have to. But anyway, have to have heat in England.
Who knows? Maybe they're third world country too.
Dramatic. The reason why I'm saying I think Toto is being dramatic is because I'm looking at the other drivers, photographed at similar times.
Mm-hmm.
Oscar just has a hoodie on. Pierre just has a cute little jacket on. Even Susie, she's just in a cute little trench coat.
Mm-hmm.
Why did we have to do this ugly ass puffer? Even Lando, when he got cold, had a less ugly McLaren puffer.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I just think that
it was mostly hoodies and jackets for the weekend. Yeah. It just
I just think we could have rethought the puffer.
But even the McLaren puffer, it's thinner. I don't know why the Mercedes one is so
big.
Thick. It looks like you're about to just go hiking through the Arctic.
Are you from New York even? That's what he's serving. Are you from New York even?
But I do like the McLaren one. If it was just a regular, winter jacket, I like the style of it.
I agree. But for my Project Runway, because as you say, most of them are just in hoodies, they're bundled up, really cold. I gotta say, Yuki Tsunoda, Cheekbone King. I think the cheekbones are part of his outfit. He looks great in his little...
Which one are you talking about?
He has an RB themed sweatshirt. I think it's acceptable.
Okay, I like that sweatshirt.
I was I would buy the sweatshirt. If we're not F1 prices. I would wear this sweatshirt, I should say. Questionable. But I would wear this.
It even looks good on Liam.
Yeah, even Liam managed to pull it off, which I love.
It's just a good sweatshirt, honestly.
Yeah, but I think he looks great. I think he looks super cute. I think he's styled well with his little bag that's coordinating.
With his beanie.
The beanie, the cheekbones. He's serving. So I love that for him.
Where is Yuki going to be next year?
At RB.
Right where he is.
RB still? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not
All right,
right
so I'm
where
gonna
he
go?
is, bags.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can go.
Okay, so for me, my project runway is going to be Lewis Hamilton's like black on black outfit, but the vest one.
The vest.
I forget which day he wore it. I want to say it was Friday he wore it.
It was before the practice sessions, which I think were
Yeah.
Yes.
Thursday, actually.
Oh, okay, Thursday. It was a vest.
Practice
it
session.
It looked like it was like a crop top, like a crop vest, and had like gold buttons. It was really cute. I thought he was serving. I appreciated it.
Is it cropped or is it just tucked in?
I couldn't figure it out if it was cropped or tucked
Okay.
in.
It was tucked? Okay.
Okay. It would have been better cropped. But, you know, we take what we can get.
I would have liked the cropped one.
I also want to give like an honorable mention, I guess you could say, to Yuki. I thought throughout the whole weekend he kind of looked cute. He looked put together. He was serving as he does usually.
He had a little photo that he did with the like Vegas impersonators and the showgirls.
Yeah.
Where he's in this like little suit that I think looks really good. Like,
yes.
Any other photos of him in that suit? So.
No, I haven't been able to see it.
The fashion page.
But I will say my project, my what not to wear is actually going to be Lewis again. And it's going to be Lewis in that sequin Tommy's jacket.
Okay, what is him with him in Vegas in sequins? Because didn't he do it last year too?
I don't remember, but I hate it. It's like Tommy and Lewis on the back.
I have to find it because I didn't see it.
Okay, I actually saw it on. Hold on.
Because Amazing Lou hasn't posted yet, so I actually haven't seen both.
I think it was Team LH I saw it on.
Okay. Too many Lewis.
Yeah. Want me to send it to you?
Yes, please, because I actually don't see it.
It's like
I think Italy. Oh wait, no, this is kind of serving.
Oh, okay. So I hate it. I hate the entire outfit, the pants too, the sequined pants.
I think I would have liked this outfit if it wasn't sequined.
I'm just seeing the jacket. I did not understand that there were pants in this situation.
I would have liked the whole outfit if it was not sequined.
Oh. Okay, the pants do ruin it.
You know what I mean?
Do immediately ruin it. Because this jacket is fine. This jacket is not high fashion. Like, I'm pretty sure that I wore this jacket in 2013. But, like...
Giving very much Vegas showgirl.
I think that he could have just done glitter instead of sequins, and maybe it would have worked. Because I think sequins add too much texture.
I don't know. I think overall for me, it just wasn't a vibe, and I was like, whoa. This is giving me
not
something.
Whoa. And it's very different from the outfits he wore for the rest of the weekend.
And I understand that they are his one of big sponsors for him, but y'all could have done something better. I've seen better Tommy Hilfiger attire. This was a no. So, yep, those are my two.
I think Tommy hasn't been on his game. All right. Philly, what you got for us?
Make it quick, make it snappy.
Girl. Okay. Did I rush you through yours?
Let's all calm down.
Calm down.
All chill out.
Relax.
I'm just messing with you. Calm down.
So, Project Runway. And it's because of one particular part of the outfit. But it's Lewis on Media Day with the black outfit with the white t-shirt. The particular asset that I love is that freaking bag that says since 2013. Because that is the year he signed with Mercedes. And I just can't. I can't. It made me laugh so hard. I'm like, did you do that on purpose because it's your last year? Have you already had this bag? I don't know.
Well, no.
But
He did it definitely on purpose.
Well, you
It
never
wasn't
know it. He may have had it already and was like, you know what? Today's the day to bust it out. Just saying. So he was my Project Runway. Honorable mention for Project Runway, all of the wags.
Well, of course.
All of the
They're
wags
always
looked
on the
good.
list.
They
They're always on the list.
were hitting. They were hitting hard this weekend. Now, my what not to wear is actually not a driver. It is Red Bull's loudmouth himself, Helmut Marko. Because what the fuck is this? I get it. Max won, but why did you strap the t-shirt around your waist? Like, you already have the Max shirt on, so then you have to strap the world driver. What does it say? Yeah, the world championship shirt. You have to tie it around your waist.
Yeah, I don't know why the sweatshirt is tied in front around his waist.
Because I get it. He wants people to see it because that looks like it's the back of the shirt. It just doesn't make sense the way he wore it. He looks foolish. He is foolish, and I didn't like it. That's it. I'm done.
Alrighty. Well, very fashionable and very unfashionable of the party this weekend. Bex, we can take it away with news from you.
Okay. So, I don't know. I'm just going to kind of give this in the order I feel like it should go. But one thing that I saw this weekend was, especially pertaining to the Las Vegas Grand Prix, was that Yuki Tsunoda almost didn't make it into the United States to race. So, not exactly sure what led to him being pulled by an agent, but basically Yuki was put into a room, and I mean, I want to say he was interrogated. That gives a little bit of criminal vibes, but he was questioned about what he was doing, in the States, or what he was coming to do in the States. I think they even asked him, like, what was his salary and everything.
They did.
But Yuki said he wanted to call the team or F1, but he was, at that point, he was already in the room and didn't have access to his phone. And he said he was wearing pajamas, so that might have been the issue, because he didn't look like an F1 driver.
He said they didn't believe him.
Yeah, they didn't believe him. And I'm just like, only Yuki would. But you know what? Like, if you were to see Yuki on the street, the Yuki does not give you F1 driver in any way, shape, or form. He just doesn't.
That's
so I could truly believe that if you were, someone who's not that familiar with F1, that you'd be like, oh, this guy's just he's yanking my chain. He's actually just trying to, like, sneak into the States. But I also feel like common sense will just tell me, okay, what's your name? Look him up on the internet if you are this big F1 driver.
That's what I'm saying.
And see if it's true.
Google to save
That's all you had to do.
Like, it really wasn't that complicated. It was something that you could quickly and easily, like, check in on and figure out.
The interrogation was actually unnecessary. Put him in a room, ask him what his name is. That's it.
Yeah, especially if they're claiming to be famous. Google it.
It's very easy to do.
That's what I'm saying. If anyone's claiming to be famous, just Google the person, see what's what, and that's it.
That's it.
I don't like
people fucking with my man. Wholly unnecessary. All of it.
I don't like anybody fucking with me.
Sorry, Yuki.
Praying for my man that this never happens to you again.
But we all know America's ghetto, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Entirely ghetto.
This is just one piece of news that I just kind of remember off the top of my head. But I'm not sure if y'all saw that due to Lewis leaving Mercedes, that Mercedes is going to hire a clothing executive to come in and dress their drivers.
Sure are.
And I was just like, oh my gosh, he had that much of it. But I also think it's also taking some of his sponsors, right? With him too.
Yes.
Like, is he taking Tommy Hilfiger?
That one I don't know.
He is not taking Tommy with him in terms of, like, yanking it from Mercedes. I don't think they're unpartnering with him though.
So it'll be two teams.
Yeah. Like,
Okay.
Like theirs have their individual ones and they have their like team ones. I think they might just be an individual sponsor for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
But supposedly they are going to be hiring this executive to dress George and Kimmy when it comes to, well, obviously not on the track. They have their uniform. But when it comes to like all these off-track events, and that's going to be like personal styling, fitness, travel, marketing, event, wardrobes, all of that, this executive is going to have to do. And I mean, that's kind of crazy that they feel that needs to be done now. I'm not sure.
It's something else. They're losing a talent. They know they need to remain fashionable. And they know that they're losing Lewis's auto fashion. So they've got to try and get everybody up to continue to average out.
But it's like they never cared before. They just let Lewis do his own thing.
Maybe they feel
they
like
had Lewis up here for fashion like content.
Yeah.
And they had like everybody else like here for fashion content.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so why are they so concerned with evening?
You got to bring everybody up a little bit more.
So you don't
back to where the average was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what it is. Is they're trying to make everybody else
more
fashionable to get it up to the average that Lewis brought.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, kind of continuing on with Mercedes. I know y'all kind of made some mention of it last week, but Toto Wolff had some interesting comments about Lewis Hamilton. And I mean, he said a lot of things, but basically the one comment to me that stuck out was that he said that everyone had a shelf life and that, you know, Mercedes would be fine moving on from Lewis. Did y'all hear this?
We did hear this.
Yes.
It's and foolish for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I think that, I don't know, I feel like Toto has handled Lewis's leaving so bad from the start. And it's like he just can't seem to just self-correct and just be like, thank you for these big championships that you've given us. Thank you for all you brought to the team. You know, we were a mid-team at best before you got here. And now we are considered one of the top 3 teams. You know, obviously their stock has dropped a little bit. But he's done a lot for the team. You just say thank you and you graciously allow him to take his exit. That's it.
Yeah. I think for Toto, instead of feeling like, oh, thank you, Lewis, it's more like, how dare you? We did this for you. You wouldn't be your champion if it wasn't for us, when it's actually the other way around. But
also, like, even Ferrari is giving Carlos a better, like,
send off.
Leaving. When Carlos ain't done jack shit for them. Carlos ain't done a lick of nothing for them. And they're like, hey, Carlos, you know, you're still cool. We still like you. You're cool or whatever.
The thing with Carlos...
Like, we have events planned for Lewis, so that's why because that's why they're not letting Lewis drive for Ferrari at the post-season, like, testing. Like, well, we have things and a send-off and events planned for Lewis, so we need him still in contract. And
they
it's
just
like,
don't want
Toto,
him to...
Events don't equal not doing a bad job sending him off. Like, cool, you planned a go-away parade. And you still a bitch in the media. Keep your go-away parade.
Anyway.
Well, yeah, during media day at the Las Vegas Grand Prix, Lewis responded and he was like, look, I've been around this game for a long time. There have been a lot of things that people say, and he used the word microaggressions, I believe. And he's like, nothing can take him down, and he's still here and he's still fighting. And he's going to continue to push. But the line that got me was that he was like, in the next races, if they provide a car that wants to stay on the track, then hopefully we'll have a better result. And I was like, okay, so everyone's just throwing shade left and right now. Absolutely. I think it was deserved shade from Lewis, but I just thought it was very funny. But he was like, yeah, like, that's great. But one of the reasons why I'm leaving is because I don't know on a week-to-week basis if there's going to be a good enough car to get a result. So, you know, I was actually glad that Lewis kind of threw that little dig in there.
He gave him a little jab.
A little jab. It never hurts anybody, but it also helps you get your point and let people know your place. Know your place. Yeah. So one of my last pieces of news that I have is that there is potentially going to be an 11th team on the grid in 2026.
It's about damn time.
Now, how certain I am about this news? Obviously, I'm not one of the 10 team principals, so I obviously have no idea if this is actually going to go through. But there have been reports that the F1 is now likely to approve a General Motors backed entry for 2026. It will join the grid as the 11th team, and they're going to have a customer engine for they'll be, I forgot who's going to make their engine. I think it's Ferrari. They'll get a Ferrari engine for the first 2 years before switching to a factory GM engine. So I think the team will be called Cadillac F1. So Cadillac and GM are going to partner up together. I think it's sad a little bit that it's not an Andretti team. Andretti's not the face of the team, but it does seem like Andretti may possibly be involved with this team in some way, shape, or fashion. Again, details are limited, but
is there a problem with Andretti being part of a team on this grid?
Andretti has tried.
I think Andretti
to join F1, and they just got rejected. I want to say, was it last season or last year? I can't, or maybe it was the beginning of this year.
Earlier this year, yeah, we literally
earlier this year
in one of our first.
Oh, okay.
Things.
Can't remember.
So,
but yeah, so I think that I would like to see Andretti in some way, shape, or form, even if it's just through like a partnership or something, on the grid, because I think that they are a racing team. Like Andretti is in other motorsports, and they're just not in F1. I think lots of times the reasoning that we've gotten when, there's questions about if they're going to bring a new team on, it's are they going to be the right fit, or are they going to bring something to F1, yada yada. It's really just them trying to say we don't want to have to split, our money 11 ways rather than the 10 ways that we are. So,
But they don't think at all that spicing things up might actually bring more money into the sport? No. Or is there only like a certain amount in the pot for them to split? Does that make sense?
I think that their final end of year splittings is relatively fixed, but might change as the sport gets more money. So I think that could flex a little bit. But I agree with you that on the overall picture of things, when the sport makes more money, they do all make more money. So, I agree with you. I think they need to figure that out.
Because I'm just saying, with a new team, that would be new sponsors, and then those sponsors have followers of some type, which could bring more interest to.
Well, that would bring more money to the team, not necessarily to the sport.
To the sport,
as a whole.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I think
stupid about it.
I think even if you bring in new drivers, there's in a situation like this year where maybe possibly you could Daniel, for the people who love Daniel Rick, he could have gone to another team. There may have been other seats open, maybe Bottas would have been able to find a team he could drive for. I just feel as though when you have another team, you can bring in more drivers, you can get better talent, making the overall product better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And also, parity never hurts anybody, you know? Yeah, so, but I will say there's going to be a lot of changes in 2026. You know, there's going to be the new rule changes. Audi's coming. Is it Audi or Audi?
Audi.
Audi's coming in. Potentially this new Cadillac F1, which I'm not going to lie, I don't like the name. I don't. For some reason, Cadillac F1 just doesn't have a nice little zip or zing to it. Maybe
Wait,
it's just
say that
Cadillac.
again, F1 what? Oh, Cadillac F1.
The new team is going to be Cadillac F1. I don't know. Maybe it's just something about the Cadillac is just giving me American. And I'm just used to all these foreign F1 teams.
Foreign teams. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I don't know how foreign Red Bull is, but you know.
I mean, I guess they're technically Austrian, aren't they?
They are Austrian.
Well, the F1 team is Austrian, right?
The whole brand is Austrian.
It is? Okay. Yeah, they're Austrian then.
Yeah. But all right, I'm gonna get into my piece of news.
Do it.
Yes.
So my piece of news is a little bit teased, a little bit shady. So as we all know, they love to interview F1 drivers, and F1 drivers love to just say shit.
Mm-hmm.
So they did an interview with Lando Norris.
Jesus.
And there are many things Lando said in the interview that I think got taken a tiny bit out of context, so I won't drag him for those. But there was one that I just thought was weird and strange, where somebody asked, because like throughout this whole thing, they've been asking Max and Lando about their friendship, because, you know, there's been contentious incidents on track, and there's been arguments and stuff. And up until this point, they have maintained nothing's changed. We're still friends. We're good friends. Like, da-da-da. Max has maintained that. Lando's made some side comments and then walked him back once he realized things were a little bit shaky.
Naturally.
But in this interview, Lando gets asked about his friendship with Max, and he goes like, me and Max aren't real friends. I have real friends in my life. Like, me and Max aren't real friends like that. You know, I'm not the kind of person where somebody treats me shitty on track and then I treat them shitty off track. I treat them nicely off track, even if somebody treats me shitty on track. But, like, we're fine, but, like, we're not real friends.
You know what this is giving? Lewis in that interview about Nico.
Thank you.
We're not friends.
Yeah. I was like, what are we doing here? What the fuck are we doing here? I'm just like, I never know. It does not benefit you, Lando.
No.
To continually be like, well, me and Max aren't real friends. Da, 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 da. Like, it does not benefit you in the slightest, especially because you're fucking lying. You are as real of friends as anybody in F1 is, so there's no point in being like, we're
your coworkers.
Your coworker friends. You ride on his page. You ride on the PJ and you're not real friends? We're giving out seats to non-friends on the PJ now? I never see that man.
But it's like giving your coworker it's like carpooling with your coworker.
I feel like carpooling with your coworker is like the two of you taking a commercial flight. Riding on Max's Peach is like Max having a Porsche, only having one seat and being like, you specific coworker, come ride in the Porsche with me. True. Like, I'm sorry, I better not ever see that man on Air Max again. Because how are you going to say I'm not your real friend and then you want to ride to the Peach?
Air Max?
That's what we call his Peach. That's what we call Max's Peach.
I
don't ever want to ever see him in the PJ again. I want to
ever see him in
the PJ again.
I can't. Okay, I have one little adorable tidbit that I saw. And, okay, so Yuki Tsunoda just moved into the same neighborhood as Pierre Gasly. And Pierre took him for hot pot as his welcome to the neighborhood dinner, which I just find so sweet. I find so sweet. I think that is the cutest thing I've ever heard.
I love them. They're so
in regards to F1.
Yes, they're so cute. All right. I'm going to get into the race weekend. We got a couple things going on. First, I'm going to start with something that happened pre-race. So because this is like one of Lewis's last races with Mercedes, they had Lewis do a like over his time at Mercedes, like watching clips and talking about them thing. He's done it with photos before, but this time they had him like in a room. I've not seen the whole thing.
Okay.
What I will say is they sat that man in that room and made him talk about the 2014 season with Nico Rosberg. And they had that man sitting with two big ass screens in front of him with that image that I've shown you of him and Nico Rosberg like embracing each other like this. And then like all the fallout happening, and they made Lewis talk through it. Like, why are you torturing him?
Wait, please tell me they talked about the hat in the cool down room incident.
That's a great question. I don't know. I'll send you the full interview clip.
Please.
But I bring this up because Lewis tried to say, foolishly, tried to say, oh, well, you know, me and Nico were like best friends from the time we were like 13 till 15, and then we went to different racing series, so we didn't really talk until we were both in Formula One. I'm like, Lewis, baby, we have photographic proof that that's not true. So don't even try to play down this Nico shit. Don't even try to protect yourself like that and act like it wasn't a big deal. We have the messages. Pipe down, King. Pipe down. But I thought that was funny. If you want to see the full Mercedes thing, I think it's on Sky Sports, but I have the Nico Rosberg part in specific that I can send you. And Nico ended up showing up to the track, so he was there this weekend.
Oh, I didn't know that.
All right.
You know who seems to be at a lot of Grand Prix, which I think she just really likes F1?
Who?
Lisa from Blackpink.
Oh, she does. She's been an F1 fan. She shows up often.
I see her at almost every race. I'm like, this girl's got to just love F1.
Now, when are we going to get the Pink Venom F1 fucking edit? I gotta find that. Somebody make
like
the Pink Venom F1 edit.
Pink Venom. I would like that, actually. I would really like that.
Yeah. But all right, I think we can get into quali. It's going to be really funny if I'm like forgetting something, but I don't think I am.
Did anything happen in practice? I don't think so.
I don't think anything crazy happened in practice.
I don't think anything crazy happened in practice.
I don't think so.
Not that I can remember.
Oh, sorry. The other thing I meant to mention that actually did get brought up in practice and does have bearing on this whole race.
Heard.
So, Red Bull Racing somehow packed the wrong motherfucking wing for this track. They packed the wrong wing, and
the title winning wing.
Yes, the title winning.
Somebody's getting fired.
So they packed the wrong wing, and in first practice where they tested out the wing that they did break, Max was losing 0.6 just on the straight every lap. So every lap he was 0.6 slower than he should be, just on the straights. Right?
Hold on, I need to, because it's 50 laps, right?
Yeah. So like he would have been losing over time. I believe he would have lost 30 seconds over the course of the lap.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, over the course of the race. If they had not done something.
Yes.
So Red Bull, being the ingenious people that they are, they took a little handsaw, like automatic Dremel thing, and they carved out little divots in the wing to try and fix the aero on it, which, as we can see, worked swimmingly. For the rest of the time, he recouped a little bit of pace on the straights, not the full one, but he did work it out a little bit. But I'm bringing that up because it does have bearing for the race and for quality. So
let me tell you something. When I saw, because I didn't see that they had a wing issue. All I saw was a video of them cutting the wing with that little saw, and I was like, "What happened at Red Bull?" I said, "What happened at Red?" So then I had to look it up. Then I realized the wing thing, but I saw them cutting it first and freaked out. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
So, maybe this is just me, but why couldn't they just fly it in?
They didn't have enough time.
The helmet's saying they didn't have enough time. I'm calling bullshit.
I knew they didn't have enough time, for quality and stuff, but they could have probably gotten it there by the race.
I think that if he couldn't have gotten it there by quality, then it would have been a Parc Ferme violation.
Oh, yeah.
So a different wing.
Yeah.
And so they had to get it there by quality. But I agree. You have all this money.
But wait, okay.
You have all this money, you couldn't.
That's
when did you realize that you packed the wrong wing?
Check it into the plane and get on a direct flight. Put it in your lap if you have to. But
somebody has a private plane over there that can airlift it over there.
So I'm saying somebody has a Peach.
Charter a plane, Red Bull. You have enough money.
Send Max's Peach back to fucking to Milton Keynes and send it right back.
Some.
But
yeah, that's the thing. I was like, You didn't realize there during practice?
My question is, how did you not realize before practice? Like, how did
Do you
not
not do an
realize
inventory
on,
of what
Tuesday
exactly
when
you
you got
need?
there? Yeah, like on Tuesday when you guys got there. Like
When you
the actual
unloaded
cars and
the
stuff-
incorrect wing,
Why
nobody
did you not
noticed?
yeah, on Tuesday, y'all didn't notice? On Wednesday? That annoyed the crap out of me. I was like, you guys are playing games
'Cause-
with me right now.
Quali was what, Friday? No.
Quali was
Friday.
Friday. Yeah, Quali
Yeah.
was
Friday.
Friday, but they arrive at like Wednesday or Tuesday, like the actual physical teams themselves,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of the
Yeah, because
drivers.
we heard about this missing wing earlier in the week. It wasn't like we
Yeah.
heard about it on Thursday.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so I was just kind of gagged. I was like, guys, what's the point of all this money you have if you can't charter this wing to get here in 12 hours?
It's
But-
not like it's Williams saying they don't have enough
Yeah,
time
that's
to
what
get the
I'm
wing.
saying.
You're
That-
Red Bull.
For real. That was just foolishness.
Really?
But we could get
Y'all don't remember when Claire Williams had to take a flight with a part?
I do recall. That was crazy.
If Claire can do it, y'all can
and
do
y'all
it.
can't help. All right. Let's get into
we gotta talk
quali.
about Williams later.
Oh my gosh, yes. We'll talk about Williams later. We can get into quali. I gotta say, not a horrible quali. Not super interesting either. I can go Q by Q because I think an interesting thing happened in each Q. So
Okay.
in Q1, you know, it's not really that surprising that this happened at this point, but we did have Checo out in 16th. Not looking good for him. Alex was also surprisingly slow. Alex was in 18th and Franco managed to be in 9th. I was kind of confused by what happened this weekend.
I actually was kind of surprised about everybody who got out in Q1 except for Valtteri. Well, and Checo. I wasn't really surprised about Checo, but Alonso, Alex Albon, and Lance Stroll. Those are people who are at least I'm expecting to get a Q2.
Q2, yeah.
At
Maybe
bare
not
minimum.
Stroll.
No,
Like, I
I
don't know how-
expect Stroll.
You expect
Like, I don't know.
To get to Q2
I don't-
and then
maybe-
be 15th in Q2.
For like Lance,
Sorry.
I don't actually expect him to do it. I expect there to be worse drivers than him. If that makes
Heard.
anything. Like
Yes.
like Lance is not doing anything to really he's not doing anything to make you say good job. He's just like there's other people.
There are
that say, like,
drivers
oh, you
who
suck.
are not up there yet.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I was actually surprised with those three.
Yes, but those. So then, as Beck said, we get knocked out. Checo, Fernando, Alex, Valtteri, and Lance. With George and Lewis leading the pack because Mercedes loves cold weather. We then get into Q2. Notable thing here is poor Franco with his quali crash that was over 50 Gs, mind you. So he had to get taken to
Okay.
medical. He is okay.
I
Poor baby. But he crashed badly.
That was it was
into
rough.
concrete, so it's not feeling good.
Yeah, the commentators were like, he hit the immovable barrier. I was like, that's
Yeah,
so sad. That poor baby.
Yeah.
And that car was
fucked up.
wrecked.
Yeah, car was fucked up, so Williams had a lot of work to do, as they've had a lot of work to do for like the past however many
Have y'all
races.
seen the video where it's just like they're like Williams just gets this box of scraps from like all these crashes, and they're like, okay, what? And they're basically trying to figure out what they can just use from these scraps
So
to
I'm
put
so
together a
curious
car.
what's
So sad.
I'm so curious what's going to happen these last two races because
Uh-huh.
they supposedly barely had enough spares to come to this race.
Mm-hmm.
What are they going to do
Yeah.
next time? Now that the car is completely totaled, like I'm curious how that one's going to.
Well, but they were able to fix it for yeah, they were able to fix it for the race, right?
Well, I'm saying like do they have any more spares or anything in case anything goes wrong?
They're gonna be riding in hoopties
Expect to see some
in
duct
Abu
tape,
Dhabi.
some hot
Not the
glue,
duct tape. Not the
some
duct tape.
some hot
At least
glue,
use some
glue.
Gorilla Glue. Come on.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be seeing some Gorilla Glue.
Yeah, because they can't cover for sponsors.
Listen,
exactly,
if Gorilla
exactly.
Glue could hold that woman's head, it can hold some.
No,
some,
it cannot.
parts.
They are
It
driving.
can hold some
over
parts.
I think
They are driving hundreds
I
of
think
miles
I
per
don't
hour,
know. I
and you
Oh,
think
that
they've
could-
used
Gorilla-
duct tape. They've used duct tape on this car before. It's
I
specific
think
car-
duct
F1
tape is
specific duct tape.
efficient.
It's F1 specific
I
duct
mean,
tape,
listen,
so
if they do it in NASCAR, they can make it work in F1.
I think they can Gorilla Glue. I think it'll be fine. All right, and then we have Q3. Nothing too crazy here, except for Lewis disappointing all of us and getting P10. Don't really know
What
what was
was
up
he
with
doing? What
I had no clue. I had
This
no clue.
felt
So I
purposeful.
was up to watch. I was up to watch Quali, and I fell asleep during Franco's red flag, and woke up at like while they were commentating during the red flag. But during the like 4-minute period where I'd woken up, they didn't mention that they were a red flag. They didn't say anything about the red flag. So I was like, oh, and I looked at the time. I was like, oh, Quali must be done. Okay, let me scroll on Twitter for a second before going to sleep. And thankfully, I went to go check the F1 page for the official classification, and they were like, green light, Quali's back on. And I went like, oh my god, wait. So I managed to catch Lewis's foolishness. I do not know what was up. I have no clue what was on with him.
I actually missed Lewis's foolishness. I actually had to catch it on a replay, but because I was awake for Q1, it was early. It was 6:00 my time when it started, but I managed to fall asleep at Q2, and I was like, Lewis, no, going P1. I was like, okay, and then I fell asleep for Q3. I woke up and I was like, okay, Lewis has to be at least top 5. And I was like, okay. I went on the app to go see what the positions were. And I see George. I was like, okay. I was like, oh, where's Lewis? I was like, oh, he didn't make top 3. Oh, okay. Scroll. What the hell? How did you end up in P10? And then I saw his time and I was like, nah, what was he doing? And then I watched it back. And I was like, nah. And I was like, someone said on, I think it was Twitter, they're like, oh, Lucius did that on purpose because he wanted us to have an interesting race. Because it makes no sense.
Maybe he's mad about what Toto said and he said, screw y'all.
Yeah. Fuck you and your
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Who knows? But we end up with, obviously, George at the head of the pack. We have Carlos. We have Gasly. I completely forgot about Pierre. Pierre managed to make it up to 3rd place. Don't really know what's going on with the Alpines. I think it's the pink.
Mm.
I think the pink helped
Is
them
it?
in quali. I think the pink helped.
The pink is always such a good.
Did the pink help in the race?
No.
Not at all. But I think the pink helped in quali. And then we have Charles, somehow with their engineered wing. Max ends up in front of Lando. Then we have Yuki, Oscar, and Nico to round out everybody but Lewis. So. Whew, that was something. That was indeed something. And with that being something, we can tap into the race. Did want to know that Franco ends up starting from the pit lane.
Oh, baby.
Because of his car being all fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Did want to give a little bit on the Las Vegas Strip Circuit, because they do race down the strip, so it's the Las Vegas Strip Circuit. I'm sure anybody listening to this knows last year was the first year we had this Grand Prix, so I don't really have any fun stats for you. It's 50 laps, it's 6 kilometers long, and it's looking like Lando Norris set the lap record this year with a 134.876. I really need to look into how they determine who does the lap records. I imagine it has to be like during quali or practice. But
wait, he said that this year?
Yep.
Damn.
I know, right? I don't think they use the fastest laps during the race or whatever. Or maybe the fastest laps during the race are not quali laps most of the time. So.
Okay. Because I was like, during the race, we know who kept getting fastest lap.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say real quickly. I don't know. I was actually gonna try and look it up real quickly. I'm not quite sure the contract years for this Las Vegas Grand Prix, but it is, from what I'm hearing, the Las Vegas citizens don't like it. It's too expensive for most F1 fans. Like,
they've signed an agreement until 2020.
Okay, so 1 more year. But I could easily see this race like not continuing after 2025.
Well, I think the thing is that they built like a whole F1 like convention center for it, essentially, like a motorsport convention center. So like,
is that the big dome thing?
No, that's a sphere. It's a Las Vegas thing. That's like a.
Listen, I don't know much about Vegas. I ain't gonna hold.
The Las Vegas Sphere is famous.
Yeah,
it's also a music venue inside. It's like trippy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Theater too. Yeah. So, but no, I guess I'm seeing out of all of the GPs, Las Vegas just seems to be the one that's like the most problematic in a way. than the others. Maybe it's just because it's the newest one and, you know, people are poking fun. Maybe at some point it'll gain some respect, but I've just seen like there have been so many issues. Like they have to block off like some of the streets on the strip for like 2-3 months out.
Yeah.
And it creates havoc
because they have to,
and it creates havoc in the city. And I've just seen so many. Obviously, citizens they don't get that much say so in what happens. You know, if it's bringing money into the city, I'm sure they're going to keep approving it. But I don't know. I think the ticket prices as well being like that, being that it is the most expensive GP to attend, I think that is kind of getting a little crazy.
I think they literally could have solved all of this by just stopping to do like shitty money things, and like people would probably be a lot happier with the Grand Prix if you stopped blocking off views, stop like boarding up window things so they can't see it. Like make it like Monaco where it's like, yeah, if you happen to be able to oversee the race, you happen to be able to oversee the race. It's whatever. It is what it is. Like,
don't they not have as many tickets for this Grand Prix, and that's why it's so expensive? Is that what it is?
I mean, I don't think. I mean, it's just expensive because all the American races are expensive, and they just made this one super expensive. It definitely is less than like I think it holds less people than like Miami or something. Because it said that there was like 300,000 in attendance this weekend. Like, it definitely holds less, but like for how much different it is, like I don't know. I think it's just pure Las Vegas fuckery.
Got you.
But all right, let's slap into it. We obviously have George out in front. We have Carlos, Gasly, Charles, and to nobody's surprise, both of the Ferraris managed to get Gasly pretty much immediately. It is not looking good for my man Gasly for the rest of this race. And Max eventually gets past him, and Charles manages to almost get George. Doesn't get George. At the back of the track, we've got some stuff, I guess, happening, in my opinion. Not that much before the first pit stop, in which we just got Fernando and Franco doing their own little back and forth. And eventually...
And Liam and... who else? Liam and somebody. Was it Liam and Fernando?
I think that was Fernando and Franco.
Yeah, it was Fernando and Franco.
Yeah, Fernando and Franco. Okay. And then we start getting into pitting situations. I think I was really shocked by how early people were pitting. I was kind of gagged.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
Like, I get it's a street track, so tire deg is really high, and this is the softest set of compounds, so tire deg is going to be decently high. And I get that I asked for tire deg to be high because I think it does make pitting more fun. When they started pitting on lap 9, lap 7, off of mediums?
The first pit was 7, right?
Yeah, off of mediums?
I was like, come on, y'all. What are we doing?
But okay, I have a tire question.
Yes.
Why, if tire deg is high on this track, why the hell did Aston Martin start Fernando on softs? Were they expecting him to like gun it to the front?
I think they were expecting for him to like make up a whole bunch of ground in the initial part, and then when he pits, he'll be on like a
hards or something.
Hards on, and then he'll be able to do a super long second stint or something. I don't know what their plan was, TBH.
It didn't make sense to me. I was like, how is everyone on mediums but you?
It didn't make any fucking sense to me.
Okay, go ahead. Just a question.
While Fernando's pitting and doing all of this, Charles is trying to get George, doesn't, and therefore cooks the fuck out of his tires. So Charles starts falling back. He ends up falling behind Max, and Charles ends up in P4 with Max being in P3. And Lewis is slowly making his way up. By the time that Charles is falling back even more, Lewis is up to P7, which we love for him. And this is where most of the drivers start to pit. We've got basically all the front runners pitting, going through their thing. And we end up with basically everybody on hards, except for the Mercedes by like lap 11, because the Mercedes are holding out a little bit. I do want to say this is also the point where Oscar gets a 5-second penalty.
I didn't understand that penalty.
I think that he was just like too far forward.
Too far forward? Okay.
Yeah, I think it was something like that. Because I also was watching and I was like, I don't really see.
Because when I looked at it, I was like, maybe it was the angle, but it kind of looked like he was over. But I'm like, he's right there.
Yeah. So.
But they do have all those sensors and whatnot,
they do have
right?
the sensors, yeah.
If, let's just say, someone, as they're lining up, someone goes too far forward in their starting position. But once the lights go out, everyone goes, they hold position for like a few seconds.
They
could that
into in the back
reverse?
Okay. Wouldn't that be considered dangerous?
No.
I'm just thinking in my brain. You know,
you're just sitting there, like, lights go out. One Mississippi.
You're getting 5 seconds anyway.
Yeah, and I'm also
this is not like when you give the place back.
So then at that point, just jump the gun and go. Maybe that's just... Never mind.
They will likely penalize you heavier if it seems like you actively decided to do that. So.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. We also had some pit drama already, which was crazy. But we will have more pit drama later. When Lance, during this pit stop, pits, and his team isn't ready with his tires. So Lance is just sitting there, waiting, and they finally bring out his tires. And Esteban also somehow missed his pit box. Don't know how that happened, King. This is not the first pit situation that Esteban will have. He'll have something again later. All right. Oscar serves his penalty. The Mercedes then also do their pit thing. Lewis stays out a little bit, but, he eventually comes into pit. And in lap 15, we have Pierre Gasly coming onto the radio going, my car has no power and my car's fucking on fire. And his team gaslighting him.
That was crazy.
There's nothing wrong with your car. The sensors say there's nothing wrong. And Pierre's like, well, that's crazy because my fucking car is on fire. Camera pans to Pierre Gasly's car, billowing smoke out of the black of it. So much smoke that even after he pulled off into the pits, when they showed the other cars driving by, you could see the smoke coming from the pits. And I'm like, the sensor. Check your sensors, man. The sensors didn't say anything wrong. Because something.
But also, okay, say your sensors aren't saying something's wrong. Your driver is in the freaking car. He says there's no power. He says there's no power. He says the car is on fire. You're clear across the track. How do you know what's happening inside of the car?
Yeah. Please, let's get it together.
Clearly something is wrong if your sensors can't pick it up, but he knows.
Yeah.
I'm about to blow up.
Yeah, my car's on fire, bitch. All right, we end up with not a super exciting 7 to 8 laps. People have moved around. Joe managed to make it to P11. Love that for him. And Alex is in P10. Alex will not be in P10 for long because on lap 26, they ask Alex to retire his car.
What happened to it?
He had a PU issue, so his little power unit thing. Apparently there was an issue with it. Maybe something got caught in his radiator ducts and that fucked with his power unit, but he ended up having to get.
Oh, real quick. When they brought Pierre's car back into the garage, in the back, did you see how it was ripped apart it was? Was that because there was actually a fire back there?
I think so. I think there's actually an issue down there. Yeah.
Okay.
But his car's fucked up. All right, we start to get into a little bit of mess that will come a lot of bit of mess at the end of the race with the Ferraris. So at this point, Carlos is ahead of Charles, and Carlos is asking, hey, pit me guys. They're keeping him out because they're trying to execute team orders. Note that they agreed upon before the race. This will become relevant later. They're like, okay, we're trying to execute the team orders thing. Now, IMO, I feel like pitting him would have executed the team orders, but that's just my opinion. So Carlos is like, hey, I want to pit. Charles is literally right behind him. They're like, okay, Carlos, give us a second. They do the team orders for the swap. Carlos doesn't pit because he's asked to stay out at the last second. Literal last second, he almost crashed into the thing that lets them leave the pit lane. While this is happening, Lewis and Max pit. They get their tires. Who cares? Carlos finally gets to pit. He has an exchange with the pit wall where he's like, wake the fuck up, guys, what are we doing? And we have the beef between the Ferraris continuing, where Carlos is directly told, do not fight Charles for the position.
Yep.
And immediately fights Charles for the position and overtakes him anyway. Now,
Sure does.
iconic quote from Charles is Brian told Charles, like, hey, Carlos has been asked not to fight you. He won't overtake you. Carlos overtakes him, and Charles goes, maybe try in Spanish next time.
That was the one line that got me. He was just like...
He gagged that fraud.
He obviously not understanding English, so say it in a language he understands.
He
Go to his native language, because I can't.
Yeah, he gagged him. I fear he gagged him. So we will get into more... I sent something into the chat. We will get into exactly what Charles said after the race.
Those two are such frenemy vibes.
It's the Ferrari PR.
Then you see them in interviews and they're all ha 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 buddy buddy, but mind you.
Yeah. So honestly, that marks most of the end of race drama, although we have a little bit from Esteban and Lewis still to go. So at this point, we're at lap 35. Mercedes are doing a 1-2, Max is in P3, the Ferraris are 4th and 5th, and the McLarens are 6th and 7th. I do not understand why the McLarens were so dog shit this weekend. Nobody's been able to explain to me what the fuck is up. I think okay, so here's my thing.
I'm sure you have a theory.
Remember the whole illegal wing that they had?
Where I thought you were going.
The whole what? Wait, the whole what? The wing?
The illegal wing, right? Mm-hmm. They were supposed to use that at Vegas. So I think that their car wing just was dog shit for Vegas in specific. They had that illegal ass DRS wing built up for Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't use your illegal ass DRS wing, and all of a sudden the best you can do is P6? That's all. I think it was because they couldn't use the illegal one.
Probably. Possibly.
I think it definitely plays a factor into it. You are used to driving your car with the illegal wing. You expect it to have it. It does give you, to some extent, an unfair advantage. Now you're sort of having to combat your car in this new construction, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And also, too, maybe the team also just didn't have time to prepare a quality wing that was within the rules. So they were like, listen, this is all we can do. It's not really good, but y'all figure it out.
Yeah.
So with the fact that without the flexi wing, they're absolute dog shit, do we think they should be penalized for the races where they did use the illegal?
No.
Why?
We've gone over this before.
Yes.
We kind of have, but
in this retroactive retribution,
no.
I do.
Because that's the law.
But if it's been decided that it's actually illegal, that means you've been partaking in illegal activity.
Felicia, be quiet. We're not doing this again. I
will say that while I think the Bex is wrong, like competitively, Bex has precedent on it. When Ferrari did that fuck ass fuel thing in 2019, they didn't retroactively punish them. They just said,
and I mean, if you want to do it retroactively, like, okay, take away Lewis's first championship then.
Oh shit! Never mind. They can keep it. Shut up.
You see, like as I'm saying, once you start doing things retroactive, then I mean, you can go back. Hell, we can start. Let's look at what Senna did. Let's look at what Schumacher did. Are we giving up? No. So let's not even do it. Starting from here, everyone knows the rules. Everyone's clear cut. If you find, we've told y'all, we've warned y'all. You know, so there's no sort of, loopholes. This is it. Going forward. That's it.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying. That's also like.
No, I mean, I do get putting it that way makes it make more sense, but
okay,
maybe it's just because it's McLaren.
Glad to help.
All right. So we have then Charles.
Could they just put the flexi wing on Oscar's car?
No, you idiot.
No, people would notice. Pipe down.
And also, do you think Lando would allow that? Lando would probably rip the wing off of Oscar's car himself.
Yeah, like let's be real. All right. Towards the end of the race, we essentially just have the Ferraris taking over Max. So they get Carlos up into the podium position, Charles in 4th, and Max ending up in 5th. And thankfully, 5th was enough, baby. 5th was enough. And Max secured his championship win in Viva Las Vegas.
His most hated city.
I know. No, I think he loves it. I think he loves it now. I think he's game.
Okay.
Was it just me, or did he sound like he was getting emotional on the radio?
He was doing a little. He had a little tear in the car.
He was crying, right? Okay, I thought so. Cry. I was like, "Oh, Max."
Yeah.
I was like, "Man up."
Shut up.
All right. So George ends up taking a win with Lewis in P2, Carlos in P3. Landon gets fastest lap. This wasn't in my race notes, but there was an incident where Esteban was supposed to pit, went to go pit. Nobody was there at all.
Oh.
And so he just drove through the pits and then came back around the next lap. I don't know what the fuck was up in the pits. I don't know what they were getting down with, but
was there ever an explanation about why that happened? Because that was absurd.
No, I didn't.
And then even the commentators were like,
what the hell?
It probably would have been a better use of your time to just sit there and wait. I was like, really?
Yes.
Oh, can we talk about who was it? Was it Yuki who ran straight into the exit sign when he was leaving the pit?
Oh my gosh, yes. That was very funny. They
were like, was he even looking? Because he drove straight into it. It wasn't even like he grazed it.
He spooked himself for sure.
I don't know. It seemed like everyone was on one this weekend, from the team to the drivers. Do you know what it seemed like? And we haven't mentioned this, but do you know what? I think this is a perfect explanation. So a lot of the drivers, a lot of members of Formula One have said that Las Vegas reeks of marijuana, and that if they were all got drug tested, they would all fail. Maybe everybody was high and they just couldn't get it together.
That's also possible. That explains a lot from the weekend. So
maybe that was the cause.
Run some tests, y'all.
Everybody was just a little high. Maybe that's why the McLarens were so slow.
True.
It wasn't a wing. They just lit up before the race.
There you go. All right. I want to get into some fun.
Wait, hold on, because I didn't realize weed's legal in Vegas.
Yes.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yes. But weed is legal in Vegas.
I didn't.
That's okay.
Max, don't look at me like that.
We're gonna get into some post-race tea because we gotta wrap it up soon. I have two things. One, we have obviously Max was doing all of getting his congratulations from people, getting all of his post-race stuff. Max,
that's where you're going.
Beck, stop. At least let the man enjoy his victory.
Exactly. Max chugged a Heineken in the post-race interview, which I thought was really funny.
Did he?
Yes, he chugged a Heineken in the post-race interview, and then he was double fisting gin and tonics while he was walking through the paddock. And
you know what?
He
you deserved
did
it, Max.
His Dutch post-race interview with Viaplay. He did with a gin and tonic in his Yeti tumbler, and you watch over the course of the 5 to 10 minute interview as he gets drunker and drunker. And at one point,
I have to go back and watch it now.
I'll send it to you.
Okay.
At one point before that Viaplay interview, when Sky Sports was following him through the paddock, and interviewing him, Zach Brown had come over to be like, "Hey, congratulations, Max!" Da 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 da. And then Max was like, "Oh yeah, remember you said I couldn't win in a car that wasn't the fastest, huh?"
Listen, okay.
I know he was sitting on that for months. He was sitting on it for months, waiting for this bitch to come up and congratulate him. Waiting for his time.
Bex, hate me all you want, but over the course of this season, Max Verstappen has grown on me quite significantly.
Isn't that a shame?
I'm sorry, I love it. Have y'all seen his new cat, Donatello?
I forgot to talk about the cat. Yes, Donatello, also known as Donut. So cute.
So cute.
We'll report more on the cat next week.
The fact that he is a cat man actually is part of what made me start to like him a little more. Sorry, Bex.
But yes, Max was very drunk. I'm excited to see whatever Max in the club footage with Martin Garrix comes out over the next couple of days. So I think that'll be very fun. And then in our other post-race tea, things are not happy in the land of Ferrari. We got jabs coming back and forth. So first, in his when they're getting back to the pits and they're doing all their stuff, they're often on the radio to their engineer. And Brian, I'm going to read the whole transcript because I think it's critical. Brian says, "Pick up, please," and because I think he's using pick up the pace a little bit.
Brian is
Charles's race engineer.
Okay,
this is Charles, and Charles responds, "Yes, whatever you want, as always." Brian chimes in and goes, "You did your job," And then we have iconic quote from Charles. Yeah, I did my job. But being nice fucks me over all the fucking time. All the fucking time. It's not even about being nice, it's just being respectful. Fred gets on the radio, like, Charles, trying to, like, shut him up. And Charles like, I know I need to shut up, but at one point it's always the same. Oh my fucking god. And then Brian tries to remind him, like, you did the right thing for the team. And then, like, it just devolves from there. Charles is really mad. Charles gets to the post-race interviews and is basically like, we had conversations, we had agreements, those agreements were broken, I'm tired of this, I'm, like, done, I'm, like, exhausted with this. Carlos gets into the interviews and is like, well, I don't like to complain on the radio or complain in the press, I like to do it behind. Carlos. Baby. Please.
No.
Please.
No.
Your voice for Carlos is unnecessary.
Your what?
Her voice. Like, yeah, everyone. Carlos is not trying to come off as a sweet angel.
I beg you to watch the clip. He's like, well, I don't do anything like that.
Listen, I don't know. Well, obviously, Charles was pissed off about the overtake thing, especially if y'all had an agreement beforehand. But hey,
I don't know. I feel as though they all sort of need to. Well, no, the two of them need to just sort of take like, you only have 2 more races together. Take everything on the chin and let it rock. Like, stop. And the thing about it is like, they're just so bitchy, for lack of a better word, that they just can't help themselves. Like, they just have to, like, get out there and complain. I would say definitely more so Carlos, but also, like, Charles, that, like, the comment wasn't necessary. You know,
mm-hmm.
It felt really.
It was like, it wasn't a necessary statement to a reporter, to the public.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because the reporters just asked him why he was so upset on the radio, and he was just like, "I was upset because we had agreements before the race that were broken."
Yeah,
that was basically what he said.
I get it, but just
yeah.
let it go.
Yes. Well, as much as I would love to continue talking about how I think Carlos Sainz is really annoying and a whiny baby, I gotta go eat brunch. So, ladies, exciting.
Do we have an exit question?
The exit question I wanted to ask you would take a little bit longer than I have. So instead, I will ask you, have you seen the Wicked movie and are you planning to?
No and yes.
Vex, I don't know.
I don't know why you're asking me. There's no movie theaters here.
Yeah, let's say I don't know.
Well,
there are, but you gotta worry if the light's gonna go out in the middle of the movie.
No, don't do. There are movie theaters that are just not showing, like, new movies that, like, are in the States. Okay. So I will have to. I'm really sad because I am really excited. I'm really excited to see Wicked. I've seen some clips, so I will definitely, hopefully, pray that they're still in theaters when I get back.
Yeah,
it'll probably be on streaming.
If not, it'll be on the streaming service. You probably will see it before you get here.
Yeah,
if we're being honest.
God willing. All right, guys, I'll let y'all go. Peace and love.
Peace out, bean sprouts.